to 171 for 5. Awful shot.
It was an awful shot, yes. Will Rhodes played at Essex for just a handful or half a handful of games back in 2016 on loan from Yorkshire at that time, I think, and now takes 3 of the 5 wickets to fall. And only came on as what, 3rd change, 5th bowler to be used?
And 2 of them were 2 of the worst deliveries I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And the shot from Dan Lawrence was not very good. So he's taken Cook, Lawrence and now Patel, and it brings Wheater to the crease.
Yes, just trying to see who caught that. Hasn't come up yet. It will.
Whoever was standing at second slip. I think it might have been
I won't
Patel.
fit all that in this little box. I can't put whoever was standing at second
As
slip.
number 8.
Number 8.
On your card is?
Number 8, middle of the back row, Banks.
Banks. Safers. So, now whose day is it so far? Still Essex's?
So, Adam Wheater, fully restored to health and vigour after sustaining a rather nasty injury to his thumb on the very opening day of the season down at Southampton.
I mean, I can only say that the pitches must be quite difficult to bat on because I know 3 of the 5 wickets, well, and in fact, all the wickets have gone down to people trying to play fairly attacking shots.
Yes, they have.
It's while they're sitting there trying to grind it out that the runs have ended up coming. But anyway, Rhodes coming in from the river end to Wheater, who drives with a straight bat to cover. And there's no run. 171 for 5, but they've given Warwickshire a sniff now, and suddenly you can hear the geeing up in the field of the Warwickshire fielders.
Oh yes, yes. I'm often going on about body language, and it's easy to detect from a fielding side, and you can see when the heads go down, and you can see, conversely, you can see when they're really animated, and it's certainly the latter that applies at the moment.
Rhodes in bowls, and that's defended into the offside. Backward a square, but there'll be no run. Backward point Fields. 171 for 5, and Ryan Tennant-Scarter's there on 7, but the scores have rather ebbed away. So there's no doubt that Will Rhodes will continue. Of course, it won't matter that what type of deliveries have got these wickets.
Oh, good Lord,
all that will go down in the scorebook is so far he's got 3, 4, 6 as he bowls outside the off stump, and there's no run. 3 for 6 in 5.4. Take that.
Pretty useful.
Wheater down the pitch doing a bit of gardening. Rhodes walking back to his mark, probably can't quite believe his luck. The pace bowler's sneering at him, wondering how on earth this is happening. I'm sure they're pleased, obviously, for their fellow teammate.
That's right, the team ethos.
There's Rhodes outside the off-stump. That's in the air. It's going to be caught. That's number 4. And another awful dismissal. Oh, my God. Wheater goes this time. He goes for a duck, swinging at a wide delivery. And if I were Will Rhodes, I'd just keep serving him up. That was another horrible delivery, another disgusting dismissal from an Essex point of view. Essex are now 171 for 6, and every time someone's tried to play an attacking stroke, they've got themselves out.
They don't seem to learn from the mistakes of others. Yes, that would, I mean,
I can only imagine that they see these balls up there from someone with medium pace and thought, I'm going to put this away. I can't let him get away with this and just leave it.
No, Ollie Stone took the catch.
Anyway.
Well, I don't want to sort of detract from Rhodes' four wickets, but I'm sure he'd the first to admit that some of them were somewhat fortunate. I think if I were he, I would go and buy a lottery ticket tonight, because it's his lucky day.
Well, now it is Warwickshire's day so far, and Essex are chucking away a winning position here. They could really have batted long, hard, and batted once, but now it looks like they're going to have to bat twice.
151 for 3. Well, 151 for 2 at one stage, so they've lost 4 wickets in adding 20 runs.
Poor from the Essex batsman, I'm afraid. Still one delivery left in this over. Let's see what Simon Harmer can do. And suddenly everyone's racing around the dressing room trying to find pads to put on.
Yes, who's got the club box?
Yeah. Will Rhodes with a huge smile on his face.
As he should have.
4 wickets And he's got one delivery left. He's in now to Harmer, who comes forward, just smothers. Oh, he's lucky he got far forward there because it's wrapped him on the pads. It might have taken an inside edge. But he took a few strides down the wicket, and that's the end of a double wicket maiden for Will Rhodes, who is currently 6 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 6.
Yes, the last 4 as well, the most recent 4 to fall. So very impressive indeed. Very impressive figures. So Tenduscarter, as you implied, must be wondering what's going on at the other end, at best. He's probably having to rein in his real emotions.
Hannon Dolby bowls, and that's pushed into the offside. So Hannon Dolby, who's only conceded 15 runs off his 14 overs, but is yet wicketless, has just had to stand and watch as the wickets have all gone down at the other end. And this is, I don't know what you say to a batting line-up after this display. Andy McGrath won't need to say anything to them. They'll just need to sit in there as a team in the dressing room. Probably bowlers on one side, batsmen on the other. And bowlers think themselves, look at yourselves.
Well, it's now the bowlers who are going to have to make up for the indiscretions of the batsmen, the likes of Harmer, Siddle, Beard.
Hannon Dolby in, bowls, and off his toes. Tenduscarter clips it away through the offside. They'll come back for a second run. It's half fielded by the man at mid-off. He couldn't quite stop it. And 2 runs to the total. And the captain's going to play a role here. He's searching for a bit of form as well. 173 for 6.
Yes, he is. But Harmer can give him good support. Siddle can give him good support. Ditto Beard. Quinn, well, averages would suggest not so much. Beard batted really well in the last match. So,
we've had 4 wickets in the last 8 overs, I think it was, as that's deliveries outside the off-stump. I can't remember when the 3rd wicket fell, but I'm pretty sure it's around 59-60. Anyway, not good from the Essex batsmen, gifting their wickets.
Yep, certainly not good.
And Harmer going through an interesting stretch, I think that is. If not, he's doing a very weird pose.
Hmm.
Down on one leg with a cricket bat.
Almost as if he was waiting to start the 100 metres.
Yeah, exactly. Hannon Dolby in. Oh, Tenduscarter edge past second. That goes for 4. And this is what's great about cricket, right?
It is, yeah.
We were sitting there mid-afternoon, late afternoon, couldn't see where a wicket was coming from. And
No.
I think, as far as I remember, Dick, the last thing you said to me, here's the scorecard, not that I think you'll need it.
Yes, I did, that's right. and now it's littered with David's writing, and it's got some of my writing on it now.
So I'm going to say you put the mockers on all this.
Oh yes, that'll do.
Commentators curse in the biggest way. 6 off this over so far, though.
I get blamed for everything else.
13 to Tenduscarter, 177 for 6. Where's 6? 151 for 1.
2. 151 for 2 at best.
Okay. Hannon Dolby, 2 balls left in this over, down the slope. Balls to Tenduscarter, and that beats him on a length, and suddenly the ball's doing everything. And that was a genuinely good delivery.
It was a very good delivery, yeah. It lifted, it moved away from the batsman. Even the lady in pink on the balcony in the distance has disappeared.
That's not enough, can't watch anymore.
No, I'm going to go and watch the tennis instead.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I think that may be over by now, surely. Big final tomorrow. Right.
Third slip coming now, which was where that last delivery went. Well, the one before that went for 4, down to third man.
And then Dolby in bowls outside edge. That's gone towards all along the ground towards backward point. It fields to his left hand side. End of the over. I mean, it says 6 runs off it, but it was a lot more difficult than that for Ryan Tenduscarter.
Yes, 4 of those were very fortunate indeed, down to the third man. And had there been a third slip then, it would have been another wicket. They brought a third slip in subsequently. Unsurprisingly, Rhodes to continue from this end with 4 wickets to his name. Just see what his best career figures are. These may be them already, I don't know. No, probably not.
Rhodes coming in again from the river end bowls, and it's left alone by Harmer through to the wicket keeper. He's got to get that further up actually, tempt him into the drive. Everything he's given on drivable lengths has gone to hand.
Yes, this is the first time he's taken 4 wickets in an innings. I think the best bowling 3 for 42 versus Middlesex at Leeds when he was playing for Yorkshire, obviously 4 seasons ago, unless he's done better than that this season, of course. But coming into this year, 3 for 42 was his best, and he's now got, what, 4 for half a dozen? Yeah, 4 for 6.
Rhodes in, and forward comes Harmer, who defends back down the pitch. Essex were in no hurry either.
No.
It was always the way, though, because they weren't scoring at a great rate, if a few batsmen suddenly... Well, I mean, it's unfair on Alistair Cook, but he started the rot, didn't he, with that awful shot?
Well, he did.
Awful shot to gully, which he'll be giving himself recriminations in the dressing room for, because that was probably the worst shot of the lot, I think, as Rhodes in bowls. That's left alone outside the off stump. Dot ball. Because it just wasn't an anything shot, was it?
No, it wasn't. Just held his bat out to dry and let the bat hit it and guided it into the gloves, or into the hands rather, of Gully, where Chetan Patel took a straightforward catch.
The rest of them were just injudicious drives.
Yes.
Rhodes turns again, number 35 on his back. 4 wickets already for him this afternoon. He bowls full. That's a better length. He's going to get driven, but he's half stopped it. I think that's a better length. There's no run. 177 for 6.
But of course, as we would normally say, don't judge one innings until you've seen the second, which is generally speaking a pretty good adage to go by. But if adage is the right word in that context, I'm not sure. But in this case, as you say, certainly 4 of the wickets have been self-inflicted, so it's not really such a good comparison.
Rhodes in again. Bowls to Harmer, who leaves outside there. So I'm just going through. I'd say Nick Brown was self-inflicted. I'd say Wesley was just unlucky because he absolutely middled that. It was just a great catch from Burgess. But the other 4 that led after that are all, I'd say, all down to the batsmen playing rubbish shots.
Yes.
Well, they probably know that themselves, right?
Oh, of course they know it. If they didn't, then I'm sure they've been acquainted with the fact by the coaching team.
Here comes Rhodes, bowls. That's on the pads, defended into the leg side. Oh, Simon Harmer starts to come for a single, which wasn't there. He was sent back immediately by his captain. And that's the end of the over. Mid-wicket Fields gets the ball over the stumps. Rhodes, 7 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 6.
Because we do have to point out, not in mitigation, because it's still a very poor batting performance, but some degree of optimism. The top order of the visitors is very inexperienced, with the likes of Dan Mosley, Robert Yates, Adam Hose has played plenty, of course, Liam Banks, Michael Burgess. The top order certainly lacks experience. Doesn't mean they're not capable of getting loads of runs, but they certainly lack experience.
70th over. And the fast bowler still careering in. Here comes Hannon Dolby from the Hayes close end bowls, and full of length. Tenniscarter comes forward, defends into the offside, and backward point Fields. And
Essex may still get up to towards 300. I mean, it's very disappointing, but it's not necessarily terminal.
I don't know, maybe the message from the balcony was get a move on with the... I mean, I can't imagine it would be, but...
No.
Maybe they were sent out with a message, hit this guy out the park, or, get the scoreboard ticking over a little bit quicker.
But it shouldn't be, I don't think.
Hannon Derby bowls. No, I don't think it probably was. I was just trying to think of the reason why they start throwing the bat at the ball like they have done.
Well, I know it's one of my stable full of hobby horses, but too many batsmen, not just Essex batsmen, but all the other 17 counties, too many batsmen, recognised batsmen, are out playing one-day shots in 4-day cricket. And over the next 6 weeks or so, that'll probably get worse with the glut of T20s coming up. It'll be interesting to see how batsmen all over the country play in the first championship afterwards in the middle of August.
177 for 6. Here comes Hannon Dolby again, bowls. That's off the pads by Tenderscott. That'll just be a single, I think. I don't think it will risk a second run. It's a good sliding stop as well. From the fielder, running round from mid-on. 1 to the total, 178 for 6, and Tenderscott goes to 14. So a rebuilding job here, but he's got to do it with the tail.
Because in one-day cricket, especially 2020, of course, you're always looking, the batsmen are always looking, I've got to try and score a run, I've got to find a gap, I've got to push a single, at the very least, I certainly can't play out a maiden over. Whereas in four-day cricket, it ought to be, I've got to keep this ball out, I've got to keep this ball out. First of all, keep it out, and then see if I can score off it. It's a different mental approach, totally.
Yeah, 3 slips, a gully, a backward point for Harmer as Dolby bowls are full of length. He's given an LBW full Yorker length, and Simon Harmer's the latest one to go back to the hutch. He's got LBW for 0, and Essex are collapsing here. 151 for 2, now reads 178 for 7, and from a very, what was getting towards a very dominant position. They are floundering, and there's not much batting left to come, and Siddle is usually better in a situation where he can swing the bat at the ball. At the moment, though, that's not really the case that Essex need him in for.
No, it's not the order of the day at the moment. It's because too many of them have been, admittedly not in that case, but it's because most of them have been out trying to swing the bat injudiciously that they've got out. So yeah, the litany continues. 151, 164, 171, 171, 178. 5 wickets going while 17 runs have been added. Let's see what the emailers think about this. Probably the same as we do.
Yeah, I've got to give Hannon Dolby credit there, right? Because that was a well thought out delivery. Harmer wasn't expecting the Yorker, and the Yorker was too good for it. Right up in the block. I must have hit him, if not on the toes, then certainly just before and low on the pads, and the umpire had no hesitation in giving him out.
I wonder what Tenduskarta says now in animated conversation with Siddle as he walks to the wicket.
Well, Siddle's going to be in two minds here because he's not going to know whether a Yorker's coming or something a little bit shorter.
No.
So he's going to have to use all his experience to deal with this next delivery. And Hannon Dolby, as we were saying earlier, he's sort of the height of Keaton Jennings, so he gets some nasty bounce off a decent length. And Siddle just going through a few of his idiosyncratic warm-ups, a little bit of a dance to get the feet moving, squat behind the bat, and now he's setting himself. Essex in trouble, 178 for 7. Hannon Dolby into Siddle and another Yorker, and he almost gets it in there, not quite swinging enough to trouble the batsman, but he gets a round of applause from his captain, Jitan Patel, standing at third slip, and did not see this coming 10 overs ago.
Oh no, certainly not.
Warwickshire at the moment are all over Essex, like a bad Hawaiian shirt.
And you should know.
Hannon Dolby in, bowls, and that's past the outside edge. That's a shorter delivery. Siddle didn't quite know what to expect. His feet were cemented to the crease. He didn't move, he just hung the bat out. And it beats the outside edge and through to the wicketkeeper. And Will Rhodes, Essex's tormentor, comes back on from the river end. 70 overs gone, Essex 178 for 7, and Tenduskarta is on 14.
Rhodes looking to take his 5th wicket. So far, the ridiculously impressive analysis of 7 overs, 5 maidens, 6 runs conceded, 4 wickets taken. An average of 1.5 per wicket and 0.9 of a run per over. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, very good, very good. It seems like it's been ages since tea, but it's not. It's only been 25 minutes and only 5 overs.
Yes.
But there's so much been happening to the benefit of Warwickshire. So Rhodes, again, coming in from the river end under cloudy sky, he bowls, back of a length, and Tenduskarta defends, and he's certainly going to try to play him watchfully. So Essex's attempt to bat Will Rhodes out the attack has gone completely pear-shaped. Essex.cricket at bbc.co.uk if you want to get in touch with us. We're on BBC Essex, BBC Warwickshire, and on online, bbc.co.uk, and go to the sports section. Rhodes turns and comes in again, right arm over the number 35, up to the stumps, and he bowls full. That's the one, driven, and it's in the air, but it's wide of the fielder at backward point. That's the one's gone for 4, but it was uppish. Momentarily, Backward Point was interested, but he gets enough on it, does Ryan Tenderscarter, and he's executed where Adam Wheater, Rishi Patel and Dan Lawrence failed to do so. 4 to the total. One's 82 for 7, and Ryan Tenderscarter goes to 18. But that's the length for Will Rhodes. Keep him driving. He's up to the stumps again, and he bowls. That one's a bit of the back of the length, though, and it's too short. They're the easy ones to keep out from an Essex batsman's perspective. It's the ones that just floated up that's causing them issues.
Yes, Tenderscarter made an undefeated, I think he was undefeated, made 70 in the last match when Essex, well, he only batted once.
Phil, the same, 2 slips, a backward point, a deep cover and a mid-off, and that one's pushed out to backward point. There's also a short cover as well. And there's no run. Coming up to half past the hour.
And as you say, Tenderscarter, everything he does in a very positive manner. There's nothing sort of diffident or uncertain about him. He doesn't always get everything right, but he commits to the shot. He commits to everything. He's been a superb servant of Essex. Diffident,
love that word. Don't use it enough. Right arm over. Here comes Rhodes, bowls, and again just slightly shorter of a length, and it's an easy defend out for Tenderscarter. Of course, I say that, I'll probably edge the next one behind. Off exactly the same length.
Comes down the wicket and does a little bit of horticultural gardening of the lawn. Before wandering back, Tenderscarter wearing number 27 on his shirt, faces up to Rhodes wearing 35.
Rhodes in, fullish, off the pads into the leg side, there's no run.
End of the over. 182 for 7, Tenderscarter 18, and Siddle yet to open his account. In fact, I don't think Siddle's faced, has he? No, he hasn't. Oh, he has faced 2 deliveries.
It certainly livened up the crowd in front of us.
Yes. Don't know if there are many Warwickshire supporters, but they'll be happy with their afternoon if they've made the trip down, either for the day, the weekend, or however many days it would be. Diana, entitled What?
That's a polite way of saying it.
What is going on, she says. She inquires from, well, she says usually in Calgary. I wonder, usually in Calgary. That's very mysterious because you don't say where you are at the moment, though. What is going on? I went into the mine. Oh, here we are. Beg your pardon, it says so. Oh dear, I ought to read the whole thing. I went into the mines at Laxey, Isle of Man, and all was well. I come out and there's been a collapse. Thanks, Diana, very much.
And Derby in, driven by Siddle. It doesn't beat the man at mid-off. They're putting a squeeze again on Essex here. Good bit of fielding, no run.
So she's in the UK at the moment. If you're in Essex, you know where we are. We're always delighted to see you, Diana. I've never heard of Laxey. I thought I knew my British geography quite well. Douglas and Ramsey are about the only 2 places I've heard of in the Isle of Man. You ever been there? No, you go further afield, don't you? I've always thought I might quite like to go there.
Yeah. I reckon I'll go for the, is it the TT?
Oh, no doubt, yes.
182 for 7, we're in the 72nd over. Is Hannah Dolby in again? Oh, that takes the edge. Give Siddle the benefit of the doubt there. He played it with soft hands down into the ground. It's run away for 4 past the man at 3rd slip. It wouldn't have carried, even if there was a fielder there. But 4 lucky-ish runs for Peter Siddle. He's off the mark. 186 for 7.
Will you go to all the big sporting events, David? No doubt you're going to the Open Golf next week, which is in Northern Ireland. You could go via the Isle of Man. You could sort of hop off on the way.
Oh, now you say that. I'm not going to the Open this year, but I've got tickets for next year. It's down in Kent, isn't it?
Is it?
Royal St George's. See, now it's pricked your ears up, isn't it?
I have. That's the only one I ever go and see is when it's at Sandwich, because all the others are...
Here comes Hannon Dolby. That beats the outside edge. And that's a beautiful delivery again. He just causes issues off that length. And Siddle just lurching forward again. Feet kind of stuck in the turf and just prodding the bat out. And it goes through to Ambrose, no run.
Oh yes, God willing and all that. Yes, I'll certainly take in a day or 2 at Sandwich. Yes, I've been to the last 2 to be held at Sandwich because there isn't any other course sort of... I don't know where the south ends and the north begins, but there's no other course in the south of England where they hold the open on a regular basis.
Hannon Derby in. Oh, that's a Yorker length delivery, and he's really testing the batsman here. He's got it back on it as Siddle squirts out into the offside. Fascinating cricket, no run. 186 for 7. Yes, did you go the last time I was there and it was absolute torrential rain?
Yes.
Oh my God, I was there that day. Sodden to the bone. I've got to say, it's the one time where I was glad to be in the pub. To get out
the one time you were glad.
The only time.
The only time you've ever been glad to be in a pub. All the others you've been forced into it, have you? Gosh.
Arm twisted.
Yes.
In a headlock.
Hemlock.
Here comes Hannon Derby in again. Bowls to Siddle off the pads into the leg side, mid on fields. Dot ball.
Well, we've had a photograph sent with this one, and it's from.
Is that a goal in?
From Jeff. Oh, the CEO of Cloud FM.
Oh.
The main sponsor of Essex Facilities Management Company. Thanks, Jeff, very, very much indeed. We sometimes have an email from one of your colleagues or employees. I can't remember who it is offhand, but I don't.
Not thanks. He's making me jealous. Is that a water? Oh no, that's a gazebo at the end.
Yes, and it says, "I have your commentary blasting through my garden speakers in Portugal while I relax alongside the pool. Heaven."
Hannon Derby bowls short. That's over the batsman's head. End of the over. 72 overs gone. 186 for 7. I mean, we're always open for an invite.
Then there's a photograph of palm tree lined swimming pool with. I agree. It looked at first as if it was a goal at one end for water polo or something, but no, it's a sort of gazebo thing, and a table in the foreground. He's obviously removed all the glasses.
Yeah, all the drinks.
All the drinks. Yes, for the photograph. He thought, no, I better not send that. Although I haven't heard the Cloudfm County Ground mentioned. I must go and do an update. And Essex have had a pretty bad session. In fact, pretty doesn't really tell the full story because they were 186 for 7. At one stage they were 157 for 2, and then they lost wickets at 157, 164, 2 at 171 and 178. Cook went for 84, Lawrence for 61, Rishi Patel for a single, and neither Harmer nor Wheatham scored a run. Most of them were out to extremely injudicious, imprudent, ill-judged strokes, and now it's up to Peter Siddle and Captain Ryan Tender-Scarter to try and repair the damage. They'd started off so well, getting to 150 for the loss of only 2 wickets, but then since then it's been a bit of a clatter, and Essex have got an awful lot of rebuilding work to do. At the moment they're 186 for 7 here at the Cloudfm County Ground. There you are, Jeff, another mention then of the Cloudfm County Ground, and there's another one.
Oh dear. You are shameless.
Well, good luck if they're prepared to put in a lot of effort, and presumably...
Here comes Rhodes, left alone outside the off-stump. Actually, just while you're doing the update there was a big swing and miss from Ryan Tender-Scarter off Rhodes. Yeah, it was a little bit of an update lottery there. I quite enjoyed that. Had a bit of a frisson to the...
Yes, we don't... It is good fun, actually, yes. Yeah, because as the presenter of the afternoon programme, Victoria, comes across to us, we don't know whose name she's going to say, and so David thought it was going to be him, and he didn't snatch.
Rhodes in again, bowls, and that's which way into the leg side. There's runs here, 2 of them, I think. It could come back for a third if they're quick enough. I think it may well just be 2, though. The throw's about to come in. They're going to come back on the throw. They are. 3 runs down towards deep backward square leg.
What a good throw.
189 for 7 in the 73rd over the Essex innings.
Splendid throw from the Warwickshire fielder there, right over the bails. Yes, David sort of acquired the...
well, I thought because I was commentating she was going to come to me, but
anyway,
she prefers the dulcet tones of Dick Davis.
Well, you've been on 5 Live today, I haven't. Mind you, I enjoyed my curry about 2 hours before you enjoyed yours. That's a result. And I did enjoy it.
That might do me a favour come midnight tonight. Here comes Rhodes. Right arm over, bowls, and that's defended by Siddle towards backward point. And there's no run. What's the time? Coming up to 35 minutes past 4.
So thanks, Jeff, very much for your email. Jeff, the Chief Executive Officer of Cloud FM. Yeah, I think that's enough for today. It is the BBC, but yeah. Thanks again very much indeed. not only for your email, but for the support you're giving to the county club.
Rhodes, 2 slips in, bowls to Siddle, and that's left alone outside the off stump, and that is the end of the over. That's the end of my stint. Yes, I'll hand you over to Dick Davis with Clive Egan to come in.
He comes back, he says, love it, thanks, presumably for the mentions. By the way, the table is a pool table. Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry. Is it? I'll have another look at that in a minute. I'll get back into your email. It's a pool, or do you mean it's a table beside the pool? George emails, this man is something of a colossus, talking about Rhodes Bowl, the Colossus of Rhodes. I wonder if that's been used before. Yeah, thanks, George. Bring back memories of my A-level classics.
Well, it's a career best for him. His previous best is a 3-wicket haul.
Yes, I just noticed.
He's quintupled his number of wickets for the season now. As
the next delivery, short of lengths, chopped away, doesn't time it, does Tender Carter, chopped hard into the ground. Hannon Dalby bowling from the far end.
And he's actually begun to do things, whether it's because the ball's got a bit older and softer. It's actually done a bit, isn't it?
Yes, it has.
For Hannon Dalby.
I'm just having another look at that photograph, Jeff. That is a pool table. It's a table beside a pool, but I don't see any green bays or pockets or... Well, thank you. I'll take your word for it. Different version of the game in Portugal, and that's just worked away on the onside, and they canter through for a comfortable single. The score has staggered up to 189 for 7, and well, I mean, you must be delighted with this carnage that you're...
Well, from a Warwickshire point of view, they'll be very happy.
Yeah, of course you are.
They've come back into it, and they still got a bat, of course, and I think what we're seeing is it's difficult to actually accelerate on this pitch.
Yes, and that's just played by Siddle defensively, trickles out into the offside. No addition to the score.
It's the sort of pitch where a team batting first in a T20 match would get into all sorts of pickles.
Yes, they would.
It looks like Hanado was getting a bit of a warning here, and this might be an official warning for his follow through. He's not, umpire's not looking at his counter umpire, nor is he looking at Jitan Patel, so maybe it's an informal warning at this stage.
As Hannon Dalby prepares to move in and bowls now to Siddle down the leg side, has a bit of a, well, swish, I can't think of a more appropriate word, and it fails to make contact. Michael emails about Will Rhodes. He was on loan at Essex about a year ago. Is this his revenge? We looked him up actually, and time flies so quickly. It was actually 2016, but
yeah, when he was a Yorkshire player, presumably.
Yes.
He joined Warwickshire last season, or for the start of last season. And
the next delivery. Oh, and a bit of a waft outside the off stump. Pad nowhere, front foot nowhere near the line of the bat, and neither was anywhere near the line of the ball. So not a particularly distinguished bit of cricket, with all due respect to the very useful Australian seam bowler. And Michael goes on to say, what a terrible display from the middle order. I agree, I can't, there's no denying it, it is a terrible display. He says, I've been soaking... Oh, here we go, these people, don't they just love it? I've been soaking in my paddling pool as the temperature is close to 40 degrees centigrade near the Ebro in Catalonia.
Too hot.
Yes, I wouldn't like 40 degrees, I couldn't take that, but... that's out.
No,
it's not, it's dropped. Oh, it should have been out. It went through the hands of the man at second slip and has trickled down towards third man for 2 runs. It's...
Well, I think that's Burgess, who took an absolute blinder earlier in the game, but that, Jitan Patel gives him a sort of comforting pat on the back, but that was, as chances go, relatively straightforward. That should have been taken.
Yes, it should. It was about or just over head height, but didn't have to stretch for it. It was sort of, probably hit him in the middle of the forehead if he hadn't put his hands in the way, and really just sort of turned it over the bar for a corner, and they went through with 2 runs. So thanks, Michael in Catalonia, and we've had people on the Diana on the Isle of Man, and Brisbane, Australia. They're all over the globe. And so Rhodes, looking for his 5th wicket, moves in, bowls. Tenduskarta plays that out in the covers for a comfortable single. There's a deep extra cover there, so it was always an agreed single. It was never going to be any more nor any less. Who else was abroad somewhere? I'm trying to think. We had one from... We seem to get quite a few from abroad now. And... which is always... Well, they're all warmly welcome. And a couple from Gary and Frinton in Essex, the very select part of Essex. As Rhodes moves in and bowls. And it's pushed out on the offside. No addition to the score of 193 for 7. So Essex staggering up to their first bonus point. Warwickshire have 2 by virtue of... Well, they achieved the second when they got to 6. They've now got 7 wickets. So maximum you can get is 3. So Essex would need to get 300 to get 3. And those who don't know the bonus points, you get bonus points for wickets 3, 6 and 9 when you're bowling. And that's just played defensively out on the offside. And for batting, 200, 250, 300, 350 and 400. And all that has to take place in the first 110 overs of the first 2 innings, or the first innings for each side. It's changed over the years, but it's been like that for quite a while now. Never quite sure of the thinking nowadays behind bonus points. It's a little bit odd. That's just pushed out on the offside. There seem to be two aspects pulling against each other, to my mind. On the one hand, they introduced bonus points first of all to make from the batting point of view, people to make batsmen play more adventurous, entertaining innings, and then they extend it from 3-day matches to 4-day matches to encourage batsmen to build longer innings. So which do they want? It's to my mind that they're pulling in opposite directions. Others would disagree. Of course, it's another great thing about this game of cricket that's just pushed out on the offside.
Well, so I don't have too much of a problem with the bonus point system. It is pretty hard to get maximum batting points.
Yes.
The danger with it, I suppose, is it gives an advantage to teams who perhaps play home matches on very good batting tracks and small grounds, and certainly Somerset have taken a few batting points over the years at Taunton.
Yes. No, I don't have a problem with it as such. I just can't quite see what the powers that be are trying to achieve, as I say, because on the one hand they're encouraging people to play longer innings by extending it from 3-day games to 4 days, but then they're encouraging brighter play.
But I think that the point of the bonus points, isn't it, is sort of something on a game, even if it get 2 days of rain, there's still something that counts for a game. Now, there are those I've heard argue the past they should abolish bonus points altogether, but that, with the climate we've got, I'm not sure that's viable. However,
no, they've been tinkering. I mean, as long as the game's been going on, they've been tinkering around with the point system. When I first was taken to watch cricket with my dad, there were points for getting first innings lead.
Of course, you never used to get, in relatively recent years, you get any points for a draw.
That's right, yeah. As Helen Dalby moves in and bowls, and Tenduskarta tucks that away down to long leg for a single.
But actually, I think that was a good innovation, because I saw when there was no points for a draw, and some teams were pretty good about still wanting to get a draw, even though, and deny the opposition a win. But you had I saw games where the team knew they couldn't win and couldn't be bothered really to play for a draw and just let the game finish quickly. But there's something on a draw now. I mean, we saw that with the Warwickshire's draw against Hampshire. That was a terrific effort. If they got no points for that, it would have been pretty harsh.
Yes, it would. Ooh, and that's a play and a miss. Well, not a play, just a sort of a prod and a miss, really, from Siddle, who doesn't look very comfortable out there. Admittedly, he is still there, and he's got 6 runs to his name, but none of them have been particularly convincing. And essex.cricket@bbc.co.uk. Oh, Jeff's come back to us twice now. More pictures. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, yes, it is a pool table. I think he's given us a full picture. Oh, I see. It had the cover on it before. Well, that's pushed out in the offside. No addition. Oh, there is addition of 1 run. No accompanying dialogue. Just a picture of the pool table. Yes, now that's what a pool table looks like with pockets. I think I could have been forgiven for not thinking the first picture was that of a pool table. And there's another email from him as well. Maybe another photograph. As Helen Dalby prepares to move in, and indeed does so past the umpire. We haven't yet positively identified which umpire is which. That's outside the off stump, goes through to the wicketkeeper. You mentioned you hear from a colleague at Cloud FM. Was that Carl Fuller? Yes, it was, yes. A mad Ipswich football supporter and Essex cricket supporter. Yeah, Carl, it is. Yes, thanks very much. I hasten to add, he doesn't email us in the firm's time, Jeff, in case you're wondering. Well, that's what he told me to say, anyway.
I'm going to change my mind on the drop catch, actually. I think that was young Dan Mosley.
Oh, was it?
Stick him in a third slip on his debut, so we'll have to forgive him.
Let's push out on the onside for a single.
There's basically 2 new players who I haven't seen before. I might have seen Michael Burgess play for Sussex, I can't remember, but I haven't seen them before. They're both without numbers, but I'm looking at pictures. I'll have to check afterwards, but I think that might be Mosley at third slip. What needs to happen is he needs to take a catch now, and then the scorer will tell us.
Yes, that's right. Yes, neither of them has a numbered shirt, as Clive just said, so it's difficult. It's quite reassuring that Clive can't distinguish one from t'other either. They're the sort of the home or the away commentator. So neither of them bowls, presumably. We're not going to find out what that means.
No. Interestingly, Mosley's been put on the card as opening bat, and we were led to believe that Rob Yates would be likely to step up and play in that position, so it'll be very interesting to see who marches out to bat with Will Rhodes at the top when Warwickshire get to bat.
Just see if the Magic Book of Words says how tall Burgess is. No, just looking on the Sussex page down the bottom of 184. No, some of the players have the height, and others are more reticent about it. As Rhodes moves in, looking for his 5th wicket, bowling to Tenders Carter, who just plays it with a dead bat, and it trickles out on the offside. Picked up by Adam Hose at a short extra cover, who polishes the ball before, and he's polished several because there's a red mark on the front of his shirt. So most sides now have their duly appointed ball polisher. It's Tom Westley for Essex. Tenders Carter goes forward and then lifts the bat high out of harm's way.
It'd be interesting to see whether G-Town Patel takes a new ball when it's due in 3 overs after this one.
Will.
He's often not taking it straight away, and given what's happened this session, he might want to. I notice Ollie Stone is preparing to have a ball, but he might stick with the old ball. Well, unless Essex start to cut into all parts of the ground, he might stick with it.
Yes, it's doing them plenty of favours at the moment. And that's pushed out in the offside for a single out to deep extra cover. And the score moves up to 196 for 7. Just 4 more runs needed for Essex's first bonus point. Still to come, Aaron Beard, who is a genuine all-rounder in club cricket, but we all know it's a big step up to this level, although he got a very good 41 last week against Yorkshire. And then Matt Quinn, who is essentially a bowler, I would put it that way. And that's outside the off stump. And if he chooses to prove me totally wrong, then I'll be delighted.
Well, it does happen these days, doesn't it? It's not that rare these days that lower order partnerships can hold teams up.
No.
Warwickshire haven't actually suffered any this season. There have been no century partnerships below the 5th wicket, but they've produced a century partnership for the 9th, 8th and 7th wickets this season. And for the 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Nothing for the 4th, 5th or 6th.
Oh, right. Oh, and that nearly got through Siddle's defence. Just the very last few inches of the bat made contact with the ball. It trickled out on the offside. Siddle on 7.26 to the captain, Ryan Tender-Scarter. You're listening to commentary via BBC Coventry and West Midlands and BBC Essex. As Rhodes moves in again and bowls, and that's just played totally defensively, head over the ball, it trickles out on the offside. End of the over, and Essex have been put into bat this morning by Warwickshire, which is their prerogative as a visiting team. Essex are 197 for 7.
Yeah. Game's just going through a little bit of a lull. Essex trying to rebuild. Well, I'm going to see Ollie Stone in now. Now this will be the 77th over of the innings, so if he did take the new ball, he'd have it in the 3rd over of his spell. It may well be that G. Templeton will see how he gets on in his first 2 overs as to whether he feels he needs the new ball or not. So elsewhere, Hampshire still going well, 242 for 2 against Kent. Surrey 231 for 7 against Notts, and Notts not having a bad day at Trent Bridge. Yorkshire, though, holding Somerset up still, 225 for 2. And Durham 87 for 6, and a rain-interrupted day at Chester Street. Middlesex 275 for 8 against Glamorgan at Cardiff.
There's down the leg side, and another wicket. Tender-Scarter followed it, just got... looking at his bat as he walks off now, just got the very tip of the bat on the ball. It's a pretty straightforward catch to Tim Ambrose, albeit he had to move a few yards to his left. And Essex are 197 for 8.
Another one that looked pretty ugly from a batter's point of view. Banged it in short, Ollie Stone, good short ball, but he tried to pull it. Maybe it went slower than he expected, Tender-Scarter, and so just got a faint edge onto it. And I feel slightly sorry for Ollie Hannon-Dalby, who, well, really well last spell, got the ball to do everything, got 1 wicket, should have had another, and then as soon as he's taken off, on comes Ollie Stone and he induces a shot like that.
Yes. So, Aaron Beard comes to the crease. As I say, he batted very well last week for 41, and he and Ryan Tender-Scarter put on, I can't remember off the top of my head, a lot of runs, but Tender-Scarter's no longer there, having feathered one down the leg side. Very obviously, I don't mean it was in the least bit debatable. In fact, I don't think he waited for the umpire's signal. He didn't need to, just tucked his bat under his arm. Well, he looked at the end of it, a bit like a snooker player looks at his cue, and then off he went, somewhat disgruntledly, which is understandable. So, again, quite a long conversation between Aaron Beard and Peter Siddle. I had a long chat with Aaron Beard after the game last Tuesday. I've watched him quite a lot playing club cricket, because normally on a Saturday afternoon I'm out and about round the clubs of Essex, but today I'm here, and he plays for Chelmsford. Bats sort of 4 or 5. Genuine all-rounder for Chelmsford, gets lots of runs as well as lots of wickets.
So where's their ground in relation to here then?
Oh, very close. Coronation Park, which is just come back to that, and that's just pushed out on the onside. About, I would say, well, you go due south from here and you get to the roundabout with the big supermarket on it, which shall we nameless, and then you go, well, maybe another mile. So it's about a mile to a mile and a half from this ground due south. No, not Coronation Park. No, that's where I was last week, where Springfield play. I ought to know. That's tucked away backward of square on the onside, and they go through for 2 runs. I'm going to have to look that up. I really ought to know. And as soon as I find out, I'll say, yes, of course it is. Of course it is. Chelmsford Cricket Club. Beehive Lane. The name of the ground is. Score 199 for 8, just 1 run needed for first bonus points. Come back to that. I'm determined to find out, even if it's only for my own satisfaction. Beehive Lane, what's the name of that? It's a big park, public park, and that's a bouncer, and Aaron Beard ducks under it. 3 slips and a gully and a backward point. And so 2 to Beard, 7 to Siddle, and Essex very much got their backs to the wall at the moment. Another helmet comes on, another close fielder coming in at short leg by the look of it, just in front of square probably. Indeed, not perilously close, but certainly close enough to merit the wearing of a helmet. About 2.5 strips away from where Aaron Beard faces. Left arm batsman. And it nearly worked very first time. It just ballooned over the head of the man at very short square leg. And had it been one of the tall bowlers fielding there, he'd have probably caught it. As it is, it was number 17, Robert Yates, and it was just out of his reach. No criticism of the field or whatever. It just wasn't tall enough, and there's nothing you can do about that. End of the over, 199 for 8. Chelmsford Park, of course it is, yes. Sorry.
So the plan almost was to a treat. If he just perhaps stood a little bit further back, that would have gone to hand. That 200 comes up on 470 balls, but the 450, for which they lost 6 wickets in that 50, 152 for 2 they were at one stage, and that has taken 130 balls. So obviously the main significance is the number of wickets they lost, between 150 and 200.
Yes, indeed. So roads to continue from this end, that is the river end or the city end, just played out quietly on the offside. Trevor says, I've only just tuned in. Is Ravi still unwell, or is there something else which we are not privy to? We're given to understand it's a back spasm. There may be something we're not privy to it, but we're not privy to it. But the reason given is a back spasm. Trevor, thanks for your email at essex.cricket@bbc.co.uk. And dropped. Peter Siddle dropped at short extra. It was hit hard at Adam Hose. It was around his midriff. I'm a bit of a harsh judge. I would say really that he probably ought to have held that, because it was.
I'd be disappointed.
He was straight to him, and as I say, it was a nice height, more or less sort of at his navel, and he got both hands on it. Nearly had he did have a second attempt as it dropped, but didn't quite get it.
Would have been Will Rose Pfeiffer as well.
Yes, it would. So that's also played out to him this time along the ground by Beard.
He pulls off an outstanding stop, but sadly it doesn't. It doesn't cancel out the drops.
So chance. Beard was nearly dropped of 2 consecutive deliveries which he had received, both by Hose. First of all at short leg, and then at the other end at short extra cover. So Rhodes, yes, looking for his 5th wicket. Right arm round the wicket to the left-handed Beard. Outside the off stump, goes through to the wicket-keeper.
Apropos not very much again. I was listening to the radio on my way in. Somebody pointed out that apparently the only member of ZZ Top not to have facial hair is Frank Beard.
Right.
I have no idea whether that's true or not, but that's what they said.
So Rhodes, 4 for 15 now. still very impressive. They were 4 for 6 at one stage, but you'd take 4 for 15 any day. That's way wide. Indeed, it is called a wide. I'm pretty sure that's the first wide of the day. Signal to umpires Mr. Smith, and although the scorecard says it's Tony Choate, it's not. It's Paul Parkinson, normally the second team scorer, because Tony Choate, and we wish him well and congratulate him, is scoring at Lord's tomorrow for the World Cup final. Yes. I don't know how he got that gig.
Ah.
Well, when it comes to Lords, it's who you know, isn't it? As the next delivery played out into the covers. Again, fielded by that man, Hose. No addition to the score.
Well, Mel Smith's been scoring the World Cup games, of course, at Edgbaston, the Warwickshire games.
Oh, right.
So we had Russ scoring for us for Warwickshire for a few matches, the second 11 scorer, but Mel was at Edgbaston. I presume he had the great delight in scoring the win against Australia.
And a play and a miss by Beard, looking for that outside the off stump. And Essex 201, so they have got 1 bonus point, but it doesn't compare very favourably with Warwickshire's 2. They're probably on the brink of a third, because as soon as they get another wicket, they'll get, well, assuming they get it within the next 31 overs, which seems highly likely.
Well, I hope from Warwickshire's point of view they're not held up by the tub, because they'll feel they could pretty much have wrapped this innings up by now. 2 chances going down.
Yes.
Since the 8th wicket fell. And that'll frustrate them. Just letting Essex off the hook a little bit. It might not end up mattering much, but it might.
Just about to do an update. BBC Essex. As Ollie Stone moves in and bowls to Siddle. Siddle plays a pleasant shot down towards the sycamore tree. They're going for 2. They'll think about a third, but it's not there for the taking. No, the fielder's on the ball, and they'd have never made it. A very good throw came in over the bowler's end, to the bowler's end. So 203 for 8. Stone to Siddle. Just played out on the other side. No addition to the score. I think I'm going to do an update soon. We're getting the programme in our headphones. Stone moves it and down the leg side. Well taken. Well, I say well taken. He would have been very disappointed if Ambrose had not taken it cleanly. Had plenty of time to see it. Here we go. And they're not going at all well, Victoria, because they were in a very good position at 151 for 1, but they are now 198 for 8. They lost wickets at 151, 164, 2 of them at 171, 178, 198. The middle order just was blown away. Ryan Tenders-Carter attempted to rebuild a little bit. He got 26, but he couldn't really stop the rot in mid innings. It's Will Rhodes who's taken 4 of the wickets, 4 for 16. His career best. He'd never taken more than 3 wickets in an innings before. Earlier on, Cook made 84 and Lawrence 61. The present incumbents are Peter Siddle. He is 9 not out, and Aaron Beard, who batted very well last week against Yorkshire, got 41 if memory serves me right. He's 3 not out, and Essex desperately need to do a bit of rebuilding to mount a challenging total. At the moment, they're 203 for 8. And Mr. Brett is not here, but as soon as he reappears he can come and take my place. That's pushed out back to the bowler. End of the over. 203 for 8. Is he next door having a cup of tea? No, I don't see him. 203 for 8.
On my calculations, 63, 65, 73. You've got one more over left.
Oh, right. Well, there are 16 left, it says on the board, so we were going to divide it into
but there was
8.
all that complication, wasn't there?
You're right.
One extra
You're
over
right.
before tea.
You're right. Yes, there were 31 left in the final
To be honest,
session.
Dickie, it's his fault. You had the idea of half an hour each,
Yeah, well,
which
I don't
is
know
nice and easy,
Yes.
and he's gone for overs, and that complicates things because
Exactly.
we have to count them now.
Yes, yes.
So it's all his fault.
It is. We'll blame him when he comes back. Yes. I think you can take up the commentary anyway, Clive.
All right, well, Rose is going for it.
Oh.
And that one, the batter just sort of nudged out, and possibly lack of pace confusing the batter there. There is no run. It's Beard on strike. Had a bit of a charmed life. He's still there.
Just appeared at the door.
Will Rhodes will be chuntering. I could have had 5. I could have had 5. Well, he could still. 2 slips in place, and that's played that good point for no run. It'll be very interesting to see how Will Rhodes fares when he comes to bat. He's going to have a young partner, whether it be Dan Mosley or Rob Yates. It's going to be a young partner. He's normally a fairly aggressive. Out of the 2, Rhodes and Sibley's by far the more aggressive of the opening batters, but we've seen in this Essex innings that being aggressive on this slowish pitch is not easy for the batters, and he'll feel a sense of responsibility, I'm sure, as very much the senior player in the top order. But at the moment he's working magic with the ball. That one's defended away into the offside for no run.
Yep, so 203 for 8. Anybody just logging on? Brown made 6, Cook 84, Wesley 8, Lawrence 61, Patel a single, Dennis Carter 26, and neither Wheater nor Harmer scored a run, so not a very consistent scorecard. Without that partnership between Cook and Lawrence, Essex would be in even bigger trouble.
Rhodes comes into bowl, and that's played the backward point no run. Well, that's what's really been odd about the day, wasn't it? Because during that partnership, they very rarely looked in any sort of trouble. They didn't always score quickly. They came and went really in terms of scoring spells, but they never actually looked in any great trouble. And you did think Warwickshire must have been thinking we're going another 400, 500 here to face, and then one wicket falls, and then they fall like a pack of cards. Rhodes bowls, loops that one up a little bit, and again, slightly mistimed shot to mid-on. Rhodes has head in hand. He's behaving like a bowler now that thinks every delivery should get him a wicket.
With just cause.
And, well, doing a good job here. The Yorkshireman polishes the ball. Might just be a pitch to suit the more medium-paced bowlers like him. He comes into bowl, and that one's rather wide, and he's left by Beard. The end of the over, 203 for 8 are Essex. 81 overs. So I didn't actually check. I presume that I'm sure they didn't take the new ball there. I think there's a bit of a discussion going on now between Chetan Patel and Ollie Stone. I think Ollie's saying, I quite like the new ball, please, Skip. And Chetan's saying, nah. No, we'll stick with the older one a bit longer. It's getting us wickets. Why not? So I don't think, unless I've missed it, I don't think they've taken the new ball.
Well, it's doing the job at the moment, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, that's right.
Essex not helping themselves. Aaron Beard should have been out in the previous. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing. We just wonder whether Warwickshire might yet regret that.
Dick destroying the box behind us.
Stone comes into bowl. That's left. There's no run. He's tidying up. Good for him. I have a real bee in my bonnet about coming into boxes and find litter all over the place and not thrown out. So well done. Well done, Dickie. 203 for 8.
Well, if I'd have asked you what's the score going to be at around about 3:30 this afternoon, you wouldn't have guessed this, would you?
I think, if I'm being absolutely honest, no. Stone comes into bowl, and that's guided away from his body nicely by Siddle. He'll get runs there. He'll get a 4. Chetan Patel turned to the bowler and applauded. Maybe he's saying, well, we don't mind him playing that sort of shot. because the bat was a fair way from the body. He got good contact on it. It was a good 4, but perhaps Jitan Patel feels that if he carries on playing that shot too many times, sooner or later one will nick off. 207 for 8. Looks like Jitan Patel's limbering up to have a go himself now, which again would suggest the new ball will be kept in the umpire's pocket a little longer. Stone bowls a bouncer. Got a bit of pace on that one.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Siddle ducks under it. How will Peter Siddle fare on this pitch? Just wonder whether the lack of pace of the pitch will necessarily suit him. Stone.
Best conditions of the day, I think.
Yeah, blue sky overhead. Floodlights still on, they're not really needed now. Stone bowls, and again he plays away from his body. Again he plays it very well though. He's going to get 4 more runs. May not come straight out of the coaching manual because he doesn't move his feet much, but he's making good connection with the ball. On to 17, to 11 for 8.
I reckon it's worth Patel just giving himself one over, see if he can try and wheedle one out, but after that then take the new ball.
Well, he may do now that runs are beginning to come here. But, in comes Stone and gets good contact on that one again, Siddle, but this time can't get it past Adam Hose, who, drop catch notwithstanding, is a good fielder and he cuts that one off well. I mean, I agree with Dickie Davis, it's one that Hose will feel he should have held, but in fairness to him, it was travelling at a fair lick. Sort of fairly lowish towards him, but nonetheless, I'm sure he'll feel he should have got it. And I think it's young Dan Mosley, which is to be forgiven. He'll be pretty nervous, but put one down at third slit. Oh, he's bowled him! That's a Yorker from Ollie Stone. That's a lovely delivery. He's having a look at his bat there, Siddle. It might have just jammed on the toe of the bat and onto the stumps, but Stone dismisses Peter Siddle. Warwickshire have their 9th wicket and Essex are 211 for 9.
Well, maybe they won't be looking after that new ball with just Quinn to come. Yeah, Essex will have a good think about the way they batted this afternoon. Still, Warwickshire yet to bat on this surface, and it's already been shown that when you try to go after the ball, it's a different story when you've been trying to just eke out the runs. But had Essex applied themselves as well as they did in the first half of the day to the second half of the day, then they wouldn't be in this much trouble.
The other slight problem for Warwickshire is almost victims of their own success, because they're going to have an awkward little spell before the close today where they're going to have to bat, unless they can contrive to take the wicket in the 93rd over of the day. We're only in the 82nd at the moment. So there will be an awkward with this inexperienced batting lineup. However, nonetheless, at 152 for 2, they would not have imagined seeing the number 11 walking to the crease long before the day is out. Stone gets his 2nd wicket. To the top of the innings for Henry Brooks. 1 to Ollie Handel, but he will feel that the world has not been too kind to him today in terms of the number of wickets being banded about. And Rhodes with 4, and now his last chance to get a fifer.
I think also they've got the Yorkers in really well this afternoon.
So this will still be with the old ball. Maybe G.T. Patel decided not to bring himself on just yet with that wicket having fallen, giving Rhodes one last chance maybe to produce what would be a career first for him. That one's pushed out the offside, there's no run. Yeah, it was a good ball from Ollie Stone, that one. Timely, Siddle connected with a couple and was looking a bit of a threat. He's gone for 17. Just 2 slips in for Beard. Rhodes bowls to always a wild swing at that. That's a shot that suggests he hasn't got a huge amount of confidence in the bat at the other end, because he took an almighty heave at that one. Missed it.
Well, you may as well go for it. Everyone else has.
Actually,
To be fair, Harmer and Siddle have legitimately lost their wickets. Tender Scarter, maybe the bounce got a little bit big on him too quickly. For the rest.
Rhodes around the wicket. Bowls. Well, that's quite a wide. In fact, it's signal wide. I think that's harsh. But anyway, I'm not the umpire, so Will Rhodes agrees with me. But then he would, wouldn't he? Anyway, the point is, it's signal wide. The batter did try and chase it. Did try and hit it, and missed it. Maybe, second wide.
Maybe the umpire just getting caught up in all this one-day style batting.
Well, Rose has got to look at it positively. He gets an extra ball, and he comes into ball, and that wraps him on the pass going down the leg side. I think this will be a leg by. It will be. Umpire signals that now. And one more onto the total. Essex need every run they can get at the moment. 2-12 for 9, and they've still got a chance to bowl. One thing I suppose is positive for them is that the match is moving on nicely. The result is looking on the cards. They won't want to face the first innings deficits with Jitan Patel on the Warwickshire side.
Yeah, the one thing that hasn't really bothered Essex is low first innings scores.
Rhodes bowls, and a very tall number 11 Quinn. I might say the mighty Quinn lets that one go to the wicketkeeper.
There's only 3 teams in the division with lower batting bonus points this season.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure we'll be conscious of that, but I'll worry about that when they come to bat. Right now they'll be feeling good at this effort in the field. They've got their 3 bowling points, which hasn't always been the case this season. Rose bowls, and that's pushed out to mid-on for no run. This next ball could be his last chance to get a fifer. Whether Patel will keep him on, if the wicket doesn't fall next over, we'll see. But if he does get the wicket here, then he can thank the umpire for signalling a wide, because this is the extra ball.
I'd be surprised if his bowling figures are any better than this in his career.
Well, they aren't, yeah. He's already got a career best. He comes in to bowl, and that's pushed out to the onside for no run, so he remains on 4 for 17. And Essex to 2-13 for 9, and he can also console himself. Will Rose, that's one more over I won't have to bat this evening.
How many overs was that on the spin he bowled? Because I think he'd only had like 3 before tea, had he?
Yeah, I didn't make a note of that.
He's bowled a few though. I reckon a minimum 10.
We have had 18 overs, so it's 9 I think. We've had 18 overs since tea. So yeah, doesn't always get spells that long. I think we're still with the old ball here. Ollie Stone to bowl the Beard. 3 slips in place around the wicket. It's short and it's pulled, and short leg is thankful that it misses him, and it's a single. So we'll give Ollie Stone a chance to bowl at the number 11 Quinn. 2-14 for 9.
That's actually well controlled by Beard there. Good looking shot. Seems to be able to hold the bat.
So Rob Yates was quite thankful. That, I think he might have been saying to himself, well, you've put me in at short leg and then you've bowled a bouncer. Can you explain that one to me? He's at short leg now as well, so the right-handed Quinn. There's a bit of a discussion about the field placements. 3 slips and a gully. The main attackers plus that shortish leg. And this one is nicely played by Quinn, just played back to the bowler Stone for no run.
Yeah, lacking a little bit of confidence, but then you'd understand why. Quick bowler facing a quick bowler.
Yeah, well, perhaps he's thankful the new ball hasn't been taken. Stone, it's good to see him back, so if he can keep fit, he bowls. Oh, that's a good leave.
Yeah, well, you see his initial foot movement was tentative, then back.
Yes.
He was expecting a short delivery. Yeah, he's calling fielders in. There's no point anyone being out in the deep. He's certainly not going to play a sweep shot or a hook. If anything, you feel like it's going to pop up in the air.
The Yorker might do it. Quinn's got a long way to get down to get a Yorker, isn't he? He's a tall chap.
Yeah, and he's going back on the crease as well, so...
Stone, he bowls a bouncer, which he ducks under. There's Quinn, I'm sure he'll mark that for when Ollie Stone comes to bat. Ollie Stone had he did me a favour in my long suffering campaign against night watchmen, as a particularly awful use of night watchmen by Warwickshire at Hampshire. Didn't cost them the end, thankfully, but penultimate day, Kyle Abbott moving the ball all over the place. And they brought Ollie Stone out as night watchman, and sure enough, he was out first ball. Comes into bowl, and that's a left by Quinn. Stone a bit annoyed with himself.
Yeah, a wasted delivery, that one, wasn't it? Just didn't quite get it right.
I've never really understood. Well, I understand night watchman, but I've never really agreed with the theory. I know at times you can point it and say, well, that's worked well, but then Sam Hain got fearful stick from the bowling side when he came out and said, well, what were you scared of? To be fair, Hain responded by scoring a century, so it didn't really matter. But Stone comes into bowl, and that one's into the body of Quinn. He doesn't know much about it, but he managed to get bat onto it, and he's got through for a single. And so he'll keep the strike with his first run, 2:15 for 9.
Right, now is there a temptation to take the new ball here? You got the number 11 on straight. I think it's going to be a new ball. It is going to be a new ball.
Which is not terribly economic, I have to say, because it might only be used for one delivery. Will they sneak it on as a new ball for the next innings if it's only used for one delivery, I wonder? I suppose they could make it available for a second 11 game or something. Henry Brooks is going to take it.
I always wonder how they, when they bring out the box of new balls, how they know how many overs old they are. Is each of them marked every time?
I think the umpire just makes a sort of judgment on looking at the balls, doesn't he? So it can't be. It's not a very precise science, I don't think. And it seems to happen more often than not these days. That one from Brooks. Oh, that's a good shot from Quinn. He went play back to it, but he opened the face of the bat. He's run it along the ground, past the gully. He's going to get 2. I think Beard was thinking, actually, I better go on strike and try and get a third, but there wasn't one there. And Brooks probably from this end for the first time. 2:15 for 9. 2:17 for 9. Three slips of gullies, putting the man at mid-wicket, point. No sweeper on the offside. There's a man down at the back of square leg boundary. Oh, that's, I think, hit the bat onto the pad. There was a shout from Brooks, but I think it was bat onto pad.
It sounded woody.
Yeah. And it remains 2:17 for 9 here at Chelmsford. A match which was supposed to be played. It's supposed to be a home game for Warwickshire initially. Brooks comes in to bowl, and that's, I think it has come off the pad, going down the leg side. They've gone for a quick single. That was a little tight, but they make it. It is a leg by. We'll bring Beard onto strike. 2:18 for 9.
Reminded me of that amazing run out by Butler on Smith the other night.
Yeah.
Through the legs.
Yes. I don't think he'll manage that again in a hurry. Sort of day it was for England, I guess.
About time we suffered at the hands of the Aussies on many occasions.
Brooks round the wicket, going down the leg side. It's taken by the wicketkeeper, but it does keep Edgbaston's extraordinary record up of late. Australia hating playing England at Edgbaston. Yeah, I think Edgbaston will feel it's been a very successful World Cup. 5 matches they had. Weather pretty much kept off. They had a couple of delayed starts. Some good games. Ignorant comments made about pitches from elsewhere, but Brooks comes into bowl, and that's guided to point. There's no run, but in truth, they were pretty, under the circumstances and the difficulties that Gary Barlow would have had with the weather around the matches. I think Warwickshire will feel they did a pretty decent job.
And I presume the pitch they're going to use at Lord's tomorrow will be a fresh pitch.
I imagine so. I'm not sure. I don't know that, but I would imagine so.
Because they've only had like 2 or 3 games, haven't they?
Brooks bowls. Oh, and that's bounces up a little bit at Beard, but he turns it round to the leg side and gets a single, which I think was the last ball of the over. So he's managed to keep the strike there, Beard, who shall feel they should have got out, but they haven't. And it's 219 for 9 at the end of the 85th over.
Well, I can't tell whether this is frustrating for Warwickshire or whether they'll just be happy, if they nick out the last man with the last over the day, providing that not too many more runs get added.
Yeah, that's it. They've only conceded 8 runs to this partnership so far, so yeah, I think you're right. I think much they'd like to get this last wicket. As long as they're not conceding runs, they won't be too upset.
Whereabouts are you staying in town?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm with the team. I think they're out in the hotel that's out
towards Brentford.
Yeah. So I'll find out whether they've got a room for me there when I leave here. Stone round the wicket. That's played into the ground. The short leg stops it and then shies at the stumps, and Beard scampers to get about. The ball misses anyway.
You can enjoy a glorious evening out in Brentwood Town Centre, home of Towie.
It's looking like a decent day for Warwickshire at the moment. Stone, whose return has been very welcome. That's another attempted Yorker, which is well dug out by Beard. It might have been missing leg anyway, but he's dug it out well and got himself 2 runs onto the leg side, and that's appreciated. And the home faithful, 221 for 9. Hint of tail wagging. And Beard doing a decent job. Has a look around him. He wants to play attacking shots. There's plenty of spaces. Stone bowls. He tries to pull at that. He might have actually withdrawn from the shot. He misses it anyway. And Tim Ambrose is able to take it.
I just ruffled the young man. $221 for 9. Whether Essex can get that second batting bonus point.
Good news for Essex is Somerset. It's only got 2 wickets there in the 89th over against Yorkshire. 267 for 2. In comes Stone to bowl. He tries to pull that one and misses it.
Well,
that's the second of the over, I presume. I didn't see the first one signal. That one definitely has been.
Yeah, that was the second. The first one definitely was signal.
So he won't be able to do that again.
There's some good chat between Ollie Stone and Aaron Beard.
Nottinghamshire bowled Surrey out for 240. So they've got maximum bowling points. So seem to be in a good position at Trent Bridge. And this next one is punched out to mid-on. There's no one there. Mid-on or long on. Ollie Allen-Dalby has to chase the ball, and it's 2 more runs. 5 for Amir. Oh no, ignore that last bit.
And we're just about to go into the BBC Essex cricket programme just for a little update. Just missed off. Siddle was yorked, wasn't he?
He was. Stone.
Bits is underestimated that one. Yeah, it's been a procession this afternoon. They went to tea with 4 wickets down on I think it was 173. They're now 223 for 9. So pretty much it's been a procession in and out of the Essex dressing room. The latest wicket to fall was Peter Siddle. He actually played well for his 13s, played some nice shots through the covers, but eventually he was undone by an Ollie Stone Yorker. The new ball has been taken belatedly by Warwickshire, the visitors. They'll be delighted. They've got Essex 223 for 9. Aaron Beers providing some resistance. He's there on 9. He's been getting some stick from Ollie Stone, trying to pull him away into the mid-wicket region. margin, and Quinn is still there on 3, but Essex will be, bearing in mind they were 157 for 2 at one point. They'll be slightly disappointed the fact they've slumped so badly. 224 for 9. There's 10 overs left in the day. It's whether Essex can hold out or whether Warwickshire will be batting before the close.
Well, they nearly weren't there, and that was a fairly horrible waft by Beard outside off stump. He missed it. I was saying that the warning to teams like Warwickshire who might think, oh well, Notts are running away with bottom places, that Notts may well improve, particularly since Ashburn has signed for them. Well, he's taken 6 wickets in that bowling out of Surrey. And that one is nicely played out to the offside by Beard. He's timed that well. It will be pulled in before it can reach the boundary, and he's taken 2. He could have had 3 there, but he's opted to keep the strike. And this is now becoming a useful final wicket stand.
He's a bit better. I can't remember the last time I saw Aaron Beard bat, if I've ever seen him at all, but he's certainly pretty decent.
Well, Dickie was saying he had was a 41 in his last game and looks pretty good. It's the way these days. You really haven't got your team all out until you've got them all out, if you know what I mean, because most teams do tend to bat, to some extent at least, all the way down. Brooks bowls as a bouncer, and he's trying to pull that down to fine leg. There's all sorts of confusion as to where the ball's gone. They get through for a single. He's having a look at the bottom of his bat, because instead of going down a fine leg, it sort of went rather apologetically towards mid-wicket, and he gets a run. So 227 for 9. All add up. Does bring Quinn on to strike, and he leaves one from Brooks. 41 against Yorkshire at Chelmsford, Quinn got.
Would he have been in with, I think he might have been in with Siddle at that point, for most of that anyway. I'm pretty sure Porter was bowled almost straight away when he came in.
This one is clipped away to mid-wicket for a single.
He's done well there.
Yeah, everyone been applauded.
Slightly too full, that one from Hannon Dolby. He was looking for the Yorker.
Well, this partnership now worth 17 for the last wicket. It's at the mildly irritating stage at the moment for Warwickshire. If they get the wicket now, that's all it will be, but a few more runs, it starts becoming a bit more irritating. Brooks bowls, and that's guided nicely down to wide, third man for 4.
It was a nice shot. There wasn't too much width on that, was there? He just created it himself with his timing, guided it over the slip cordon and away past backward point. That's a lovely shot from Aaron Beard. He's got a high backlift as well for a tail ender. It's not one of those ones that starts high and then gets lower and lower as the bowler runs in. It just starts high, stays high, and then just relies on his wrist speed to get the bat through the ball. It's a lovely shot, that.
Well, she's paying a bit of a price for putting down a couple of chances earlier. Ollie Stone will try and wrap it up this time, and Jitan Patel's had enough. He's going to bring himself on the bowl if Stone doesn't sort it out here. And that was a lowish delivery outside off stump, and Quinn leaves it in his style, which is sort of to almost jump away and watch the ball go past.
Well, he's lining up though. I mean, if that was me, I'd just be chucking the bat at everything. I'd be stepping back and chucking the bat at everything. But he's tentative at the crease, but he's making sure he's getting himself into line, not to stick his bat out there. It's probably going to be the commentator's curse.
Stone bowls. That's going down the leg side. He's cost himself there, Quinn. If it's going to glance down the leg side. It is like, look, I remember having a conversation with Ashley Giles once when we were at Cardiff and he was commentating with us. He was talking about then they were struggling to get the last man out, and so sometimes bowlers just try too hard, they forget. You know, these guys are 10 and 11 for a reason. Just calm down and just bowl normally. And sometimes there's an anxiety to try a little bit too hard. And that's left.
That's hit him.
That's hit him, yeah. I thought that was going to go past his chest, but that's hit him. It doesn't seem to have hurt him very much. It must have hit some padding. And it's rolled away. There's no run. And sure enough, there was an interval almost immediately. And obviously, Ashley had that conversation with the bowlers because they got the wicket almost straight after the interval. But you do sometimes say that they feel they got the right to get the number 11 out. And they can sometimes just try that a little bit too hard. Try to force the issue. Stone bowls, that's going down the leg side again. There's an appeal from Chetan Patel on his own at gully. So well taken by Tim Ambrose. It's similar to the one that Jason Roy was given out to.
Yeah.
But,
do you know what the weather forecast is for tomorrow?
I don't, to be honest.
Have a little look, see if it's muggy like it was this morning.
At least if it does rain for 2 days, I think England win, don't they? Because they finish higher than New Zealand in the table. So obviously we hope that doesn't happen. But Stone bowls, and that's played in mid-off. There's no run, but there was that slight nightmare scenario that it had rained at 2 days at Edgbaston, then Australia would have got through by default.
Oh yeah, so there's a bit of rain around overnight, but it's cloudy and sunny tomorrow.
They'll be alright, I'm sure they'll be alright.
Ooh.
They've got the reserve day, of course.
Oh, I'm talking about Chelmsford, sorry.
Oh, here, Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Lords. Right, okay, well, the match has progressed well, hasn't it? That's one thing. That's
yeah, it looks to be roughly the same as what it is today so far.
Well, good day's play here. That one is just late on that, but he got his bat onto it, onto the leg side, and still Warwickshire can't get this last wicket. 2-3-2 for 9. Was a maiden though from Stone, so no great damage done, and it's one less over that Warwickshire will have to bat. So what are we now? This is about 87 overs, so if the wicket were to fall in the next over, we would have, what, 3 overs for them to face? 4, maybe 4. I'll probably come out with 2 night watchmen now. In comes Brooks to bowl. Oh, that's it, upsy but safe to mid-off, and it's fielded by Hose. There's no run. Now you've made this very difficult for me and Dickie because we're having to add up overs now because you've made it overs per session rather than half hours.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my calculations. I think
This is your last one.
is it? Okay. 73. Yeah. So it is. Well, let's hope the wicket falls then. That one. Oh, that was.
What happened there?
He tried to pull it, and I don't know whether that came off the bat or just his thigh pad, but it looks like it's hurt him a little bit.
I reckon that's come off his glove.
And it's spooned up in the air. It was nowhere near a fielder in the end yet.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah,
that's come
that's
off
hurt
his
him.
glove.
That's hurt him.
Oh dear.
He's not enjoying that.
Chetan Patel is signalling to the physio. He's aware that the batter's in a spot of bother. Of course, being the last man, you either have to carry on or end the innings.
Well, let's hope it's not serious. 'Cause
Yes.
Essex need him to bowl.
Can Chetan Patel say, come on, get the physios on. Oh no, he's no, he's not. He's saying get some drinks on to my players. That's me thinking he was concerned about the Essex player, but nope. He wants a drink round for the Warwickshire players, and maybe he'll have a little pep talk with them as well. So this session, you've seen Rishi Patel caught Banks bowl Rose 1, David Wheater caught Stone bowl Rose 0, Simon Harmer LBW, Alan Dolby 0. Ryan Tendescarter caught Ambrose bowled Stone 26 and Peter Siddle bowled Stone 17. It was 169 for 4 at tea. It's now 232 for 9. So we are going to get a little bit of a delay.
There seems to be some concern out there. Umpires standing around
yeah.
it.
Well, it could of course be the end of the innings now because if they feel he's taking looks like he's popping a pill, so he'll probably try and carry on, but elsewhere Hampshire 300 for 5 now, so Kent Surrey got a couple of wickets. Notts have lost an early wicket against Surrey, they're 8 for 1, and applied to Surrey's 240. Yorkshire 278 for 2. against Somerset. Somerset look like they're not going to get many bowling points, if any. Well, only one wicket to get one, but Gary Balance is on 110 and Tom Kohler-Cadmore's on 75 there. So York should be thinking Essex about to be all out against Warwickshire. They're piling on the runs against Somerset. Maybe it's still a 3-horse race after all.
Could well be. What's the points difference?
Well, they were 40 points behind Essex, were Yorkshire, never mind behind Somerset going into this game, so they've got an awful lot to make up. Well, he's putting his gloves on, he's going to try and carry on. Beard, but he doesn't look very happy. And you wonder whether the wise decision here would be to not risk him doing more damage. The physio will know more than me about whether there is a chance of more damage.
Can he hold the bat is the question.
Yeah. Well, what Henry Brooks has to make sure he does here is bowl this one on the stumps, because there's every chance that he'll not really want to hit it. If he just lets balls on wide and allows him to leave it, that'll be a bit of a waste. Anyway, the physio runs off and he's going to carry on. Beard and Brooks eager to come in. 2 slips and a gully, comes in to bowl. Oh, well, he's played that okay, not seemed to be in any great discomfort. Oh, and he's shaking his hand now.
Well, it's going to be numb, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not numb, throbbing.
He's giving it a good old shake. And Brooks, he's got a chance here of wrapping the innings up, but that's played out to the gully area and there's no run. They might have to reverse things now and try and get Quinn to take as much of the strike as possible. If this is causing Beard discomfort. Good news from a bowling point of view is it's his left hand, and although he's a left-handed bat, he's a right-handed bowler, so some mercy for them. Brooks bowls and he's tried to pull that and missed it. It's taken by Ambrose.
Well, had he got hold of it, that would have gone an absolute mile.
You can be a little bit careful. There's 2 fielders out on the boundary there for that shot. And then Dalby looks as if he's ready to have a go. But Warwickshire can't quite wrap up this innings. I'm trying to prevent him getting a quick single here, Warwickshire, but from Essex point of view, it might be wise for him not to go for one anyway. Brooks comes in to bowl, and he's trying to pull that, and he has got that through for 4 runs. So good shot by Beard, and last wicket stand continues to frustrate Warwickshire. 2:36 for 9.
Yeah, cream that out of the middle of the bat. Thanks, Clive. Clive will be back tomorrow morning from 11 AM for day 2 of this game. And we've got another 7 overs to go here. 7 overs to either see Essex bat, or if they get bowled out, there'll be 4 or 5 overs if they bowl them out in the next over for the Warwickshire openers to face. As I was saying, best conditions of the day so far. Broken cloud. It's just got a tiny bit dark, as a bit of darker cloud creeps over, but very pleasant compared to the morning. But it looks like possibly that the weather is going to be the same tomorrow morning as it was this morning, which may help the Essex bowlers. Welcome back, Dick Davis.
Thanks, David.
It's been a long while since a wicket fell.
It has.
211 the last one, 236 for 9 Essex. Next delivery is played out into the offside by Quinn. It's Hannon Dolby coming in from the Hayes close end.
It did cross my mind, not a long journey some people would say, that maybe this time we'd better spent bowling at the inexperienced upper order of Warwickshire, but I suppose it's important to add as many runs as possible.
Yeah, Essex might want to get that extra batting bonus point if they can.
Yeah, I mean, this wicket has added, 25, so yeah, a good sort of 11% of the score added on. Or more.
And Dolby in, bowls to Quinn, who leaves alone. Not much foot movement, but again, he's lined it up well.
He had a strange way of leaving the ball. He just sort of ignores it, doesn't he?
Some might say it would be the best way for a tail ender, just pretend it's not there.
Yes, quite, yes.
Well, he stopped stepping back. He was stepping back a couple of overs ago, so he's starting to feel more comfortable at the crease. I'm saying I don't blame him. If I was out there, I'd be stepping back, swinging my bat at everything. And just
so would I. I'd be standing next to the square leg umpire.
There's an ambulance creeping down the... as the next delivery is wide off stump. Down the Essex cricket driveway. I hope that's nothing too serious.
I said that Aaron Beard could bat, and he's proving it. He's not just sticking around. He's playing some very good shots.
He is. He looks really handy. That pull shot on the last ball of the last over was very good.
Yeah, I think he'll be gradually edging his way up the order from 10 to where he is at the moment. Although 8, 9, 7 are all quite capable.
236 for 9. Hannon Dolby in, bowls to Quinn, who defends into the leg side. He's looking far more comfortable now. That was on the stumps. Didn't back off at all and just defended into the leg side. Starting to see it a bit better now. Is Quinn.
Yes, and this must be a little bit frustrating for the visitors. They'd done the hard work really, getting Essex down to 211. They've now added 25. Okay, it's not monumental, but in a low-scoring innings, it's decidedly useful.
236 for 9. 2 balls left of the over. Here comes Hannon Dolby. Bowls full, and that's a better length. It gets Quinn driving, trying to get at the pitch of the ball, but he misses, and it goes the way through to the wicket-keeper, and there's no run. 14 short of the second batting bonus point. People starting to drift off now into the late evening. Going to get their supper or a bit of dinner. A few drinks in town.
Which you're going to have in a minute? Well, no, in an hour and a quarter.
Told you I don't go for that stuff.
All right.
Maybe some water. Here comes Hannon Dolby. Bowls full, and that turns Quinn around, but it's along the floor to cover. End of the over, 90 gone. Essex 236 for 9. A slight recovery, actually.
It is, yes.
What were they? 198 for 8. So the last couple of wickets put on close to 50.
This celebration tonight, I know we can't advertise the name of the premises, but are you just meeting in a pub or a restaurant or a club or what?
It's as far as I know, it's a pub. As I said, even in the time that I've moved away from here, Chelmsford has changed, and all the bars and pubs have changed around as well. It's somewhere down near Molsham Street.
Right. Oh yes.
But I don't know the name of it yet. I need to speak to people.
Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Looks like...
Oh, they're going for bad light.
Looks like Danny...
They're going off for bad light. What's happening?
No, they're not. Danny the ground...
Oh no, it's Aaron... What's happened there?
Well, one of the staff came on and said something to one of the umpires.
There's an ambulance for... Well, yeah, we saw the ambulance earlier. There's something...
Oh, is it coming into the ground?
No.
Does that mean it needs to go across the pitch? No, I don't think so.
Well, we're at a loss, but play's stopped for now, has it?
No. We can often hear ambulances because we're only a matter of 40 yards, if that, from the main road going through town or through the city.
Well, we're going to get back underway, but we're not...
We're not quite sure what that was all about. Yeah.
Well, hopefully. There wasn't, as I said, there was an ambulance came down. The next delivery is guided into the gully. There's no run. We did see an ambulance come down the driveway to the Essex cricket ground. I didn't see what happened to it after that, but I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it.
Maybe he's warning that it might happen, that an ambulance is on the way or something. He sort of gesticulated towards the area of the ground by the main scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll find out ere long.
Well, the umpire's on the radio as well as Brooks bowls, and that's off the pads from Beard. That's going to be a single into mid-wicket. 237 for 9. It's a bit of a mystery at the moment, but the play is going on.
And they're still looking over in that corner of the ground. Oh, is it somebody saying the air ambulance? I can remember seeing the air ambulance land on the ground at Old Trafford last year.
Umpires back on the walkie-talkie. We'll have to just keep you posted, but we have absolutely no idea unless someone... Here comes Brooks bowls, and that's defended into the leg side, and there's no run.
Air ambulance. Well, something's afoot, and we're not quite sure what. Clive's going to investigate. It was Clive who said air ambulance. I don't know quite where he got that from. But
for the moment, play goes on.
And when they were pointing in that corner of the ground, presumably...
Oh, that's full. A little bit too full from Brooks, but Quinn gets his back down on it. He was looking for the Yorker. It was almost a beamer.
There's no activity among the crowd there, as if there's somebody taken ill or had an accident or something. Oh, well, we will find out, I'm sure. If not, it will remain one of life's unsolved mysteries, like where do flyers go in winter? Only possibly a little bit more important than that.
Brooks, right arm over to Quinn. Again, looks for the Yorker. Quinn does well, and he's looking far more confident out there, is Quinn. Tall man, so to get the back down on the ball on Yorker length deliveries is...
Yep, 4 off 28 deliveries.
He's doing a job, isn't he?
He is. Beard 21 off 42.
Still flexing that left hand. Luckily he's a right-handed bowler, so it shouldn't affect his bowling. I did originally think that maybe Beard might have to go to the hospital. Oh, that beats him outside the off-side. Good length, a better length from Brooks that time. They're not hitting the stumps enough since they've had the new ball. That's my big bugbear. But how often do we? There's an air ambulance coming into the ground. Okay, so there's potentially an air ambulance coming into the ground.
Right. Oh, well, it's very sad.
So we will keep you posted. Hopefully whomever is involved.
Yes, I remember, as I said, that when I was at Old Trafford, when would have been... yeah, thank you, Clive. Yes, just confirmed that. Yes, when I was at Old Trafford the last time, which would have been year before last or last year, I'm not sure. The air ambulance landed then.
Hannon Dolby bowls to Beard, who guides that way nicely, through the slits, pass backward Point, who's charging after it now. I think it's going to slide before it hits the rope. Will they take 2? Or they're going to take 3, so they're going for the runs here, Essex, 240 for 9. Do you remember that strange occurrence? Was it 2 or 3 seasons ago where someone fired an arrow into...
Yes, at the Oval.
Did anyone ever solve what went on there?
No, it was a crossbow, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right, we can hear an air ambulance, so we might be going off.
Because it might not...
We're going off.
It might not be that it's the incident is taking place on the ground. It might be outside the ground, but this is the nearest piece of...
Yeah, which I think is why the ambulance might have come in down the back, right? So they're probably carrying whoever might need to go on the air ambulance.
Oh, you think it's not going to land on the outfield? Well, in which case, why are they clearing the outfield?
No. What I'm saying is, you were saying they need an air ambulance, but the ambulance that came in down the driveway might be carrying the patient. And this is, like you say, the nearest place to come and pick them up from.
Or him.
Right, so we may as well go off air for...
Well, no, I don't think it'll be long. I can't imagine it would be.
So one set of stumps being left out.
There's the air ambulance hovering above, and one of the staff gesticulating towards the air ambulance, which seems to be going off in the wrong direction, which is rather unfortunate.
He's got his hands down. Literally the helicopter's gone completely the opposite direction.
Yes.
Oh well.
Well, they must have sat nav, surely. Oh dear. Well,
it's like every sat nav, right? When you actually get to the point.
Unless that isn't the air ambulance, perhaps it's just another.
Well, that's what they're all looking at, though.
Yes, well, if a helicopter comes across and you're expecting it, you're going to assume that's the air ambulance. I must admit, I thought the air ambulance was sort of blue and yellow, and that wasn't blue and yellow, was it?
Well, that's gone, isn't it?
That's gone. That's on the way to
Mauritius or something like that.
Well, I don't think it will get there. Well, the mystery continues. We probably don't have all that many listeners at the moment, but and now I think they're coming back.
Yeah, they're coming back on.
They're now coming back on.
That was short-lived.
So that was short-lived.
Oh, no, hang on, it's looping back round. That helicopter in the distance is looping back round.
It is.
I think it might be a case, you're quite right, they've missed the target, so it were. Oh,
air ambulance no longer required. So it's carrying on. So that was a false alarm. Well, it was a little bit of excitement. We're glad it's a false alarm. It suggests that the incident wasn't as serious as had at first been thought. The air ambulance...
But it is coming back, that helicopter.
Well, it's got to get to a base. Where's their base? Yes, I mean, they can't just sort of hover around forever waiting for another call, can they?
Well, they should do. I'll give them a call later tonight. I might need a lift home.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably a good job you're not commentating tomorrow.
No. Right, okay, we are coming back on. So, what have we got? 4 and a bit overs, 4.3 I think.
4 points.
Oh no, 4.5. 3 off the first delivery.
Which is 4 overs and 5 deliveries for the benefit of those who are not au fait with this.
So am I right in saying that if a wicket goes down in this over,
we'll
Warwickshire
have
2 left?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so... well, that was a bit of an anticlimax, really.
This will still be one of the earliest days finishes I've had in a long time. We've had 2 quite long delays.
Yes.
Or 3 quite long delays.
The batsmen return to tremendous applause. Not quite sure that it's justified, but still.
So, 240 for 9. I need 10 more for the extra batting bonus point to Essex. Beardy's there on 24. He's playing really nicely, but it's going to be Quinn on strike. Just going to need to reset himself here, Quinn, because I've got the feeling he's starting to feel far more comfortable in the middle.
Yes.
And he's going to have to face Hannon Dolby, or expect to be the quickest of the Warwickshire frontline bowlers. So, deep mid wicket called in. He's going to go to a slightly backward of square leg, midway between the wicket and the boundary. Here comes Hannon Dolby, bowls to Quinn, who confidently covers up and defends into the offside. Lining up really well is Quinn.
He is.
Tall lad, what do you reckon, 6'6"?
Yes, probably is.
The couple's back on. Oh no, I think it's just the husband on the balcony this time in the distance. His wife.
Yes, I don't see the lady in pink, or lady in red, as Krista Burr famously sang about.
Hannon Dolby in bowls. That beats the outside edge of Quinn's bat. But again, just she's playing down the line of off stump. If it's going to take the edge, it's got to be an accurate delivery. Wasn't that about his ex-wife, Lady in Red?
Oh, was it?
I think so, yeah. I could be wrong on that.
I caught a very interesting documentary last night about, purely by accident, when you're thumbing through the channels as you're sort of drinking your late night cup of tea, about Roy Orbison. I think it was on BBC4. But actually every song he recorded, or certainly all the hit records, were sort of experiences in his own career.
Hannon Dolby bowls to Quinn as a half an LBW appeal from the wicketkeeper, but he's alone, going down the leg side really, wasn't it? Height would have been an issue as well, 240 for 9. But they always sort of write about their own experiences to some extent, don't they?
Yes,
or slight variations of.
But they were nearly all sort of sad experiences, you know, like it's over and yeah, things like that, and crying. The trouble is I can never hear that record crying without thinking of Only Fools and Horses.
Crying. Yeah, here comes Hannon Dolby bowls, and again just beats the... I'll give Quinn a benefit of the doubt there. He took the bat inside the line. Was it Raquel's... Was it a boyfriend at the time?
No, it was just... Del Boy signed up this singer not knowing that
he couldn't pronounce
his R's, and he wanted to sing this duet with Raquel, and
that's
she
right,
didn't. Yeah.
Oh, classic Only Fools and Horses. 240 for 9. Have you even seen the stage show yet?
No.
As Dolby bowls. Oh, that's full. LBW appeal going down the leg side, says the umpire. And that's the end of the over, so Essex survive again. 4 left, 240 for 9.
And they must have made a prodigious number of episodes, because they still often show... You know, I thought I was a pretty keen fan, but they occasionally show episodes. And I turn to my wife and I say, I don't remember having seen this one.
How many did they make with Grandad?
Well, I don't know.
Well, there are two granddads.
There were two granddads.
And Uncle Albert.
Yes, because Uncle Albert came in when the real granddad really did die, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah, great series. Well, and Chetan Patel says, well, he doesn't actually say it, but he may be thinking it, well, if you've seen bowlers can't break this last wicket partnership, I'll have to go myself. His wicket list so far.
He is. He didn't bowl particularly well this morning.
0 for 52 in 20 overs.
Yeah. But there wasn't anything really threatening. I don't remember him beating the edge of the bat too often, if at all.
No.
And he certainly didn't induce any false strokes. I'd like to see another close-in fielder for Beard here. I know what they're trying to do, offering up the chance on the offside to drive. But I reckon you get another slip in.
Yes, Uncle Albert was Buster Merrifield.
That's one, yeah. Patel bowls, and that's defended into the offside, and there's no run.
I know you can't generalise, and it's silly to do so, but it won't stop me. Generally speaking, I think tail-enders are more susceptible to slow bowling than the seam stuff. But hopefully Aaron Beard and Quinn will prove me wrong.
And he defends into the leg side. Now, do you think that's just because the case that they see it slower, they want to hit it harder, or...?
It might be, the temptation to hit it, or... Well, you have longer to think about it, don't you, when the slow ball bowling, whereas it's more instinctive when a seam bowler's bowling.
Just gone 6 o'clock as Patel bowls full this time. Driven away nice. That was there to be hit. Half volley, wide of off stump, and Patel frustrated with himself there. Just came out wrong. Far too deep in length. And Aaron Beard, who's not a tall fella, just got to stride in and latched onto it and crashed it through the covers.
These 28 runs are no... Well, obviously they're not a fluke, but he got a very good 40-odd last week, and... yeah, I think he deserves a place higher than 10.
Yeah, he certainly looks it from this display. That's defended into the leg side as well. Short leg fields. A dot ball. Again, just goes a little bit dark out here.
But on the other hand, somebody's got to go 10, and Siddle is quite a useful bat, so it's a difficult one.
And suddenly if you start pushing them higher before they're actually ready for it...
Well, yes, that's true.
Start making wrong choices.
Yes.
Beard defends again into the offside, and they've certainly got their batting heads on here, these two.
Yes, they have. They've shown their more illustrious colleagues how it should have been done. Only 6 more needed for another bonus point. 244 for 9. Warwickshire already have their 3.
Patel in, gives us some air, and Beard will just clip it down the ground, take a single, and that'll mean he'll be on strike for the next over. He goes to 29, 245 for 9, and greatly appreciated by the Essex crowd.
Yes, they're a very knowledgeable crowd, and they're also, I suppose I'm a little bit biased, but I think they're very appreciative. They know their cricket, and they appreciate good performances by opposition players as well as their own. Some crowds around the country, no names, no pack drill, have a notorious reputation for being one-eyed. I don't think Warwickshire are one of those who have that reputation, but there are one or two, not too far from these parts.
Will Rhodes back on, so the tormentor of Essex early on. Well, his bowling figures so far: 14 overs, 6 maidens, 4 for 17. I'd be surprised if he will better that in his career.
So 35 this wicket has yielded, which is very, very useful indeed.
3 overs left. Rhodes coming in from the Hayes close end. He was bowling from the river end beforehand. Right arm round to Beard, who just defends into the offside, showing him respect first of all. And some ironic cheers from the crowd.
Yeah, so for wicket falls now, that's the end of the entertainment for today. There won't be time for Warwickshire to come out and bat. Well, of course, ideally, Essex would like these two to be there in the morning, but they've got another 17 valid deliveries to negotiate first.
Rhodes past the umpire, bowls to Beard, who again just covers up and defends into the offside. I think that's what Beard's thinking at the moment.
Yes.
Nothing rash.
Bat for tomorrow.
Nothing rash, and if the ball's up there like it was with Patel in the last over, hit it away, but otherwise take no risks.
Yes, he doesn't get bogged down, does he? I mean, when the bad ball comes along, not that they come along very often, but yes, he gives it the treatment it deserves. No, I'm very impressed. I know I'm a little biased because I've been talking to Aaron Beard for several years in club cricket level.
Rhodes in, bowls to Beard, that one gets big on him and he's edged behind, and we've talked him out there.
We did rather.
Beard goes for 29, just leaped off a length. That's a 5 for Rhodes. So he'll finish with figures of 14.3 overs, 5 for 17 with 6 maidens, and it's an exceptional display by the former Essex man as well. But Beard goes for 29. He'll be frustrated. Essex fall 5 short of getting a second batting bonus point, but they'll come back in the morning, raring to go, and have a go at these inexperienced Warwickshire top order. But it's a good comeback from Warwickshire. Essex were 157 for 2 at one stage for Alistair Cook. Not inexcusably, but totally out of character. Just played a really innocuous shot, which just ended up in the hands of Jitan Patel off the bowling Will Rhodes. That started the collapse that Rhodes triggered, and Essex never really recovered. But 245 all out means that the bowlers have something on this pitch to bowl at.
Yes, they do. Yep, 245 all out, but we, yes, as if we needed confirmation. I think we know the regulation. As if we needed confirmation, that's the end of the day's play. The covers are coming out. Aaron Beard batted very well again.